Hi guys, so I thought I would do a book review, book discussion on books I've just read recently, and today we're going to talk about the Lunar Chronicles. Yay! First off, the Lunar Chronicles is written by Marissa Myers, and Marissa Myers is actually an author that I didn't know I was familiar with until I found out that she used to write Sailor Moon fan fiction. And I was like, what? I used to not only write, Sailor Moon fan fiction, I've also read hundreds of them. More than hundreds. I'm sure that one of her stories must have been something I've read before. So I went to my old fan fiction site. Yes, I do still have my password and everything. And I saw that I favorited her. So I knew Marissa Meyer before she was even Marissa Meyer that we know now. So I was just like, it just comes to show that people who write fan fiction can one day become authors if they put their mind to it. And it's just amazing, and it just inspires me to want to write again. That's just how, I don't know. I just love the fact that I can totally relate to Marissa Myers, besides the fact that, she wrote an awesome series, which is called the Lunar Chronicles. So, Lunar Chronicles is based on characters who are loosely based on fairy tale characters. So, first book is actually called Cinder, and Cinder is loosely based on Cinderella, because like Cinderella, Cinder had a stepmom, two stepsisters, although the younger one she has a better, closer relationship with. She has her robotic friend Eco. I guess you can say that she's like her fairy godmother. There's a Prince Charming. Difference between her and Cinderella is that Cinder is half cyborg. Well, she's human with, robotic parts, making her a cyborg. And not only that, she's gonna kick butt and try to save the world from an evil queen. So that's what this book is about, and I totally give it a 5 out of 5 stars. And towards the end, you get a little glimpse of, you get to meet one of her accomplices, which is Thorn, and also get to see or get a glimpse of the next character that is going to be introduced in the next book, which is actually Scarlett. And Scarlett is actually a bigger book, and I've noticed that as each book comes along, it's bigger and it's better. Now, Scarlett is loosely based on, of course, Little Red Riding Hood. So, of course, there's going to be wolves involved. There's going to be her grandmother being involved in all of this. And it's a great book, because not only do you get to meet these new characters, you get to see more of Cinder and her accomplice in Thorn, and just a lot of character development, a lot of world building. It's a beautiful book. Although out of all the 4 characters, or the 4 couples actually, I do find that my least favorite couple is Scarlett and Wolf. Not that I don't like them, it's just out of 4 characters, they're not my top 3. That's all. And also through this book, you get to meet again towards the end the next character that comes along, which is Cress. Again, bigger book and even better, a better read as well. I have to say, out of all of the 4 books, Cress I just enjoy, and I think the reason why I enjoy this book so much is the couple in this book, which is Cress and Thorn. Out of my 4 couples here, these are my favorite. Thorn and when I think of Thorn or imagine Thorn and Cress, I imagine them to be just like the characters in Tangled in the Disney movie. So goofy, crazy. It's just Thorn being just like, it's just, and I think a majority of readers out there find Thorn and Cress to be their favorite couple. So, and also, like, you kind of know that a lot of fairy tales have different versions, and so when I read this, I thought of that one Rapunzel movie, or short movie maybe, that I watched when I was very young, and it was about Prince meeting Rapunzel, and they would meet in secret until they got caught by the witch who was keeping Rapunzel up in this tall tower, and made this prince blind. And so I remember this prince just walking around in the snow, or maybe it was the desert, or I don't know what it was, blind, looking for Rapunzel. And when he does find Rapunzel, not only do they defeat the witch, Rapunzel cried her tears into his eyes, and then he was able to see again. And that's the kind of version of Rapunzel I think of when I read this. And when you read this, you'll see why I also thought of it. But yeah, I just totally love this book, Cress. And of course, towards the end, you get to meet the new character, and that was a long-awaited book, which is, well, not long-awaited book. I didn't have to wait that long because I did just read this all in one sitting. But basically, you get to meet Winter, and Winter is loosely based on Snow White. And when I think of this Snow White, I think of that movie Huntsman, where, the evil queen tells the huntsman that, I know you love your, or not really, well, a mixture between like Huntsman and the original Snow White or whatever, is that the evil queen tells the huntsman, like, I know you admire Snow White, she is a beautiful little girl, but I need you to kill her, and I need you to bring back her heart. So that's the whole thing, whole premises, except of course there's no Prince Charming. The huntsman is the Prince Charming for Snow White. And I have to say that this is a very long book. No way can you read this in one sitting. It's like 820 some pages long. I do love it, although I felt like the last battle was, I felt like it was a little too short, or actually a little too rushed especially when it came to Wolf. I know that another booktuber was talking about how Wolf had this thirst for blood, and he just kept talking about how he's thirsty for this blood, he needs human flesh, he's hungry and all this stuff, and then suddenly in the beginning of the battle he was able to overcome and try to protect Scarlett, and it's like, how did that come from point A to point C? Where is point B? Not only that, when Levana and of course Cinder faces off, it's like, I don't know, I felt like it wasn't long enough, and I wish Marissa would just drag the battle on a little longer. I know it would have made a much longer book, but I don't know, I wish there was more explanations for certain things. Like, how was it so easy? Okay, right now, first off, let me just say, I want to give this whole series a 5 out of 5. Each book a 5 out of 5, except for Cress, maybe I'll give it a 6 out of 5. And Winter, I mean, this whole series is beautiful. But before I can continue talking or discussing more about Winter, I am going to put a spoiler alert here, because I don't think I can keep discussing this book without revealing what's in the book. So if you haven't read the book yet and you don't want to be spoiled, exit out, go watch something else, but unless you're interested. But if you haven't read it yet, you need to go read it. And I say this because, again, 5 out of 5, I love the series. It's just one of my most all-time favorite series so far this year. And anyways, as I was saying, I felt like also, okay, spoiler alert, I felt that when Cinder and Jason went to go get the antidote, I felt that was a little too easy. I thought it would have been harder to get the antidote, but it actually was a lot easier than I thought. It was just, you know, sneaking in, sneaking out, and then trying to get the antidote from point A to point B. Like, that was so easy. And then I felt that I might have to read the whole standoff between Levana and Cinder again, because I'm not sure who shot Levana. I forgot. Either I forgot or I must have missed it. And then what else too? Yeah, and I felt like too, like at the last scene between Wolf and the last romantic scene between Wolf and Scarlett is, how the heck did Wolf overcome his hunger? Will that be discussed in the epilogue that's coming up in February? I don't know. I just felt like even though this book is beautiful and is well written and it was enjoyable and it ended well on a good note, it's just I still have so many questions. You know, I felt like there's still some loose ends that need to be tied. You know, how does this teenage girl, Cinder, leave her throne, and how does she plan to leave her throne in the future to people who follow tradition for so long and suddenly are forced to not follow tradition anymore and to become democratic, and having her find people to help? I don't know. I'm sorry, my kids are sorry. My kids are asleep, and I just need to make sure that they're not awake. Okay. So I have a lot of, there's a lot of loose ends I felt that needs to be tied. So I know Marissa Myers is coming out with a new book for the Lunar Chronicles, which is an epilogue. Is that how you say it? Which I hope will answer a lot of my questions. But, I mean, besides that, I still give it a 5 out of 5. Even with some flaws, I can still see past it because of how much I enjoyed reading the series, these books. And I so much do not want to leave the world that I'm actually planning to read the book regarding Levana's story called Ferris. So I'll let you know what I think about that. But I heard a lot of people still feel no sympathy at all for Levana. So yeah, these are my thoughts. I absolutely enjoyed the series Lunar Chronicles, and I enjoyed her writing so much that I decided to go into fan fiction, and I reread a lot of her fan fiction on Sailor Moon just to see how her writing got better. You know, I saw how her writing got better, her development from all these years from then to now, and it's wonderful. It's great. I enjoy Marissa Meyer. I enjoy her writing, and I cannot wait to see more of it. And so I hope for those who haven't gotten a hold of any of these books yet, I do honestly really recommend that you go out there and get these books and read. Just read them and enjoy them. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching this book discussion. Bye.